In Solihull, we want to improve the way we provide support to families facing a range of complex problems in their daily lives. We held a festival of ideas to develop a shared view about how we can work differently to secure better outcomes for these families. Around 70 of us visited a variety of services that work with complex families. We also observed some of the multi-agency panels that make decisions about these families to see how they work. On 24th of November, everyone who took part in the visits came to a workshop to share what they had learned.
My visit was to the pupil referral unit in Chelmsley Wood, particularly interested in the Key Stage 1 and 2. What struck me as surprising was the commitment to the learning, the resources that were available for young people, and the commitment to those young people.
I was very fortunate. I went to the IAP programme. I had no previous knowledge about anything to do with the programme, and it was, I have to say, a really well spent 2.5, 3 hours. I think what they've managed to achieve in a fairly short period of time, and the enthusiasm and the commitment from the professionals was really came across.
What I learned from my experience was I saw lots of really dedicated people working really hard to make life for families in Solihull better. But actually they were having to come together and find solutions and fix things because actually the system itself isn't working. So they were working very hard. They created workarounds to problems.
We had quite a discussion around how the services might do more outreach, work more directly with the families and deal with some of the basic needs that those families or basic challenges those families might have.
I think it would be more helpful if there could be greater information sharing between the various agencies that are working with the Education Welfare Service, and also clearer identification of which professional is the lead professional, the key worker that is supporting the families.
My experience from today supports that it needs to be a lot more joined up. I think everybody needs to have more of a personal responsibility and an individual responsibility about what they're providing. I got the impression that people are working in silos, and we need to somehow break those silos open.
We need to enable people on the ground working with these families and individuals within the families to work closer together, to actually jointly work with families. There's some of that happening, maybe we can do more of that.
I think the service needs to work more closely with families and engage families and the local community more proactively in order to secure better outcomes for those families.
We need to remain focused on the families and their needs and what they're telling us about their needs, and be sure that that's what we're addressing, and recognise that as professionals we're not always the people that can be meeting those needs. There are other ways of achieving that.
The thing I learnt most is that leaders within the system have to think about how the system's working as a whole, think about the purpose of the system and ensure that the system is working as effectively as possible for the people who work in the system and for the families the system is meant to support.
At the workshop, groups identified significant things that could be changed in the way that we work with families facing multiple problems, including creating a multi-agency family recovery team and better integration of services. The Solihull Partnerships Governing Board will decide which ideas to take forward. Everyone at the workshop also pledged to take action to make a difference for families facing multiple problems. Please consider what you will do to make a difference.